everybody.
Sean and Kelly here with Price and Price Group of Samson Properties. And what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about what changed in the real estate market from 2019 to 2024. Why 2024? We'll tell you in a minute.
It's all about affordability. Here we go. Okay, so we had a suggestion from one of our viewers. Don, thank you. He always gives us great ideas for videos.
I love his feedback.
Yes, absolutely. And he brought up a great point. He said, with the recent elections here in Virginia, affordability is on everybody's mind. Even like in New York, that's a big thing up there. Affordability is on everybody's mind. So we're going to dive into what the housing market, what the housing market looks like with regards to affordability now versus 2019.
Yeah, and why 2019? So when we talked about doing this, where everybody knows there's all this chatter about how there are no starter homes anymore, the housing affordability is basically in the garbage. And so I thought, okay, well, what was the best sentiment regarding affordability starting in 2000, right?
Okay.
And it was 2019. That was like the golden year, like 2018
that was the year
to
that
2019.
Had like the most optimism. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why we chose that year. Their rates were extremely low. Income levels had increased. The housing prices they were starting to rise, but they weren't really the whole pandemic
boom
jolt.
Yeah.
So that's
they
why
had
we're
job
comparing.
Security. They had all kinds of different things.
That's why we're comparing that year.
Okay, so we're going to look at 2019 up until 2024. Why 2024 versus 2025?
Just because some brilliant mind told me that is where we get the most complete full data for the latest year. Thank you. Thank you, brilliant mind.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Because I said the same thing. Like, why not 2025?
That's right.
Okay,
so before we dive into this, I have to qualify us. We are not economists.
No.
We are not finance majors. If we miss something or make some huge erroneous statement, feel free to call us out in the comments. And that's totally cool because we're just realtors.
SEO learning tells me that the more engagement we have, positive or negative, will be a good thing. So
we'll probably get a lot of negative from this one.
Maybe we should start trying to offend more people.
That's right. Okay, but before we get started, last time we did our
pop quiz.
Yeah, our real talk. What was the pop quiz answer?
So we asked what is included in the APR that's not included in the interest rate. And it was A, lender fees, B, points, C, closing costs, or D, all of the above. I'm sure everybody knows it based on everything we said or just listening to the question.
So it was not a high-level presentation. All right, the answer is
D, all of the above.
Okay.
That's why you really need to look at your APR to know what you're spending on your mortgage loan, not just the interest rate. Don't fall for that BS.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's dive into this. Why is it that buying a home now feels so much harder than it has in the past? Is it just in our minds? Is it just the media? Is it reality? What in the world is going on?
Well, I was surprised by what I found because I had in my mind.
And this is the beauty of you, is you look for the truth of what you can find, not your opinion and backing up your opinion.
Yes, I really thought one thing, and it'll come out. I'm sure everyone will figure out what I thought later when we hit on the topic.
Yes.
But I was a little bit wrong, so I softened my opinion a little bit. So
I thought the same thing, and I actually found information that made me realize I was greatly wrong. So
really,
yeah. So yeah.
Man, okay. Yeah. So but let's talk about the actual nuts and bolts of it, and then all of that wrongness of us is going to come later.
Now, what area are we discussing here? We're talking about like Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church.
Yes.
Those areas that consider the Northern Virginia market.
Okay. Yes, this is not national.
Yes.
And it's not statewide, right? We're in this how do you
bubble,
describe this bubble of? We have higher incomes because of the government jobs and all that. That's a whole thing, right? It's 2024 data, everyone. Bigger homes, like the McMansions, like you have the 12,000 square foot home on half an acre.
I call that a mansion.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
The McMansions are in Texas.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I forgot.
Okay. Anyway.
We've been together too long.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about.
Starting to get your whispers.
let's talk
Okay.
about, get back to the script.
Yes.
You're on
So
a
let's
different page.
compare
You're over here.
the house. Let's compare incomes first, shall
Yes,
we?
yes.
Okay. So the median incomes in 2019,
Yep.
they were what, 110 to 130?
100
right?
100 to 130. Yeah.
100 to 130.
Yep.
Compare that to 2024 data in our area.
Yep.
That was like up to about 150. So it was like
Yeah.
about 140. So there was
110
an
to
increase.
140 average. With the exception of Loudoun County, I was doing a little bit of a little side digging. Loudoun County was 170 in 2023. It was 170.
What was that? Cyber?
Huh?
What was that?
Cyber?
Loud. No, but what were the jobs out there? I know they have the big cyber facilities.
Yeah, I had to do something with that. But yeah, so this is the average for all of Northern Virginia.
Go
but
Loudoun.
yeah, so it was 110 to 140 was the increase.
If you want me to talk about the school situation out in Loudoun County right now, let us know.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we went from 100 to 130 up to 110 to 140 in a period of 5 years. So we did have an income increase.
Yes. Okay. So that's the income. Now let's talk about the median home prices in the same area. Okay. So these are those people buying in this area. In 2019, it was about 540 to like 550.
Yep.
What was it in 2024?
630 to 640, depending on the subject. I actually looked it up in Bright and pulled the report to see if it matched what we found online. It was about 640 in 2023.
Now I want to skip. Okay. So I want to skip the other factor we looked at real quick to say that what these two things fell in line with what I had in my head, right?
Yeah.
So the ratios for what you spent, the income versus the home price in 2019, it was 4.43, right?
X, yes. Yep.
In 2024, it was lower. That's right, my friends. I thought everybody's freaking whining. You're buying too much Starbucks. You're driving fancy cars.
I wouldn't go too heavy into what you thought because you were wrong.
That's why I'm so beautiful, is that I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. So it was 4.25% in 2024.
So basically you're saying that the income rose at a higher ratio than the housing prices.
Not very much, but at least we can't say homes aren't as affordable based on what we're making, right? Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. But I have to say something.
Yeah.
One thing that we don't have in here is the factor of inflation. Because as I was doing a little bit of a side research, I saw as high as 19% inflation between 2019 and 2023. So that's one factor. We don't have that in this report, but that's one thing to consider.
Well, that would also disprove what I thought, right?
Well, yeah, it even more. That's what made me disprove it so much more. That's why I was like, I was so wrong.
Yeah. So
because I felt the same way she did.
That was your kick in the pants. Yep. My kick in the pants was I wasn't thinking about. I was thinking about the interest rates. But I wasn't really.
You weren't digesting
what the payment.
So what does that look like?
Okay, so the interest rates in 2019 were around 4%.
Yep.
Versus 2024 around 7%.
Yep.
So even though the prices, median home prices, and the income levels, it's like, what are you whining about? It's the same thing
ratio
that everybody was so freaking happy about, right?
Yeah.
No, because your house payment based on interest rates and you're saying inflation for all your other consumer spending has gone up to where it's like, you guys are legitimately right to be.
Because the payments did what?
Bad.
Like what were the payment differences?
You tell me.
So if a typical,
let me see if you know what's already in my head.
If a typical home, a median home price with the interest rate that was going on in 2019, the average payment was $2,300 a month. In 2024, it's somewhere between $3,700 and $3,900 for the same payment on the median home price. So it's not the same price home, but that median home value didn't increase that much, but that payment did. And that's where the affordability comes in. So I got a little side note to throw in here. Okay. I don't know if now's a great time.
Probably not, but
I'm going to do it anyway. When we first started talking about doing this, I actually pulled numbers from 2000 to 2024. And what I saw with that was the increase in that 14-year period.
Yeah.
The ratio of property values going up was like 36%.
Yeah.
This is only Fairfax County, so we're not using these numbers, but it's an interesting result. Was only 36%, and incomes rose 47%. So over a 10-year period, that factor was more evened out, and the average interest rate over that period was 7.7%.
So that did
so our interest rate is actually lower than the average over a 10-year period, but this 5-year period was where this dramatic bump happened, and everybody is like, oh my God, this is shocking, I can't afford anything.
So that's why my bird's eye view was, ours was kind of what it was, but then we've honed in on when everybody was happy, joy, versus now they're like, cry me a river, I can't do it.
So they're feeling it now, but over a 10-year span, it's been a gradual, it's been a normal process. Average appreciation 2.2%.
Okay.
It's crazy.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to say that, I mean, I'm not really rude to anybody about any of this. I just have inside thoughts that are kind of rude sometimes. Like if I hear people whining, or if I'm watching
your tones and your looks,
like
and your
reality
words.
TV, and I hear them say it, I might say it out loud while I'm like chopping vegetables and stuff.
Yes.
So I do apologize for thinking too harshly about there just being too much whining going on, and not like whining. No, whining, not whining. Maybe both.
Yeah. Winning.
So I'm trying to. I did apologize already. I don't need to do that again. But to see, like, I'm usually mostly right about things. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I've got to be right about something in here. Like I have to.
So
be
you
on
were
to
somewhat
something.
right with the 10-year span, but not.
So I looked more into.
Oh yes.
Generationally.
Yes.
The mindset, because you brought up 2020, right?
Yeah.
That was when you and I were. We got married in 1999. We started having babies. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Why do I always do that? Thank you. Got married in 99. Had the first baby in 2020.
Yeah.
2000. 2000.
Yes.
Do you remember our date nights?
Mm-hmm. I remember very well. We were in chiropractic school.
Yes.
We would go to Subway because they had $5 footlongs.
On Tuesdays.
We could feed us and our...
Well, I was nursing.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, she was free. I thought our baby could nurse until she was 5, so I was like, we'll get through chiropractic school without any extra food bill. I was dumb.
I nursed them each a year.
Yeah.
But that was like our big weekly night out,
mm-hmm.
right?
$5.
We drove used cars. I mean, they had AC and everything. They weren't total bangers, but used. Is that a derogatory word now?
Bangers? I don't know.
I wonder if it comes up. If it does, it's just my ignorance. If it is.
Yeah.
And like I cooked at home, and
mm-hmm.
and usually it was like meatloaf. Like it was not filet mignon, right?
We lived extremely frugally, and we did what we had to do to get through to the next day. And
we were not going to Starbucks. We still don't go to Starbucks.
Right.
I mean, it's not like we don't, but we don't do it.
It's not our daily, like I have to have my Starbucks
so
coffee.
I did learn that there's this huge shift. So our generation, Gen X, we prided ourselves, and still do, on like getting it done. Yeah. Right? We're going to buckle down. We're going to do what needs to happen, and we're not going to whine about it. We're just going to like maybe sort of minorly explode every 3 months, but it's fine. We deserved it. And then we're going to pick ourselves up, and we're going to move on and get it done. The new generation, they prioritize experiences, mm-hmm. self-care.
This is from a study done by a sociologist, by the way. This is not your opinion.
Experiences, self-care,
travel,
and luxury items.
Yep.
Okay. So I was right.
So in other
Just
words,
a little bit. We're both right.
Yeah. In other words, and a lot of them are renters. Like a lot of people don't want to purchase because their mentality is they don't want to be tied down to a property.
Yes.
In the younger part, now that we're starting to see them hitting their 30s, then we are seeing people starting to want to buy, and first-time home buyers. Right. But the average first-time home buyer, I saw a study the other day that it went from 28 to 40, the average first-time home buyer. Now, I don't know how valid that was. I just heard this in passing, but I was like, that shocks me.
That's worth looking into.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody deserves to, enjoy your life, right?
Yep. So
I enjoy my life.
So it is more difficult to afford. Do you have more to go on this?
Yeah,
oh,
but I'm not.
Okay.
But we have this week's pop quiz.
Yeah, well, we got more. Hold on. Yeah, just if we had more there. So in summary, it is more difficult to afford a home now, and it's dramatically more difficult than 5 years ago. So that's why people are feeling the pain. It wasn't a gradual increase.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. And I saw one stat with that 19% of inflation,
Yeah.
that the income today was worth 122,000 back in 2019 dollars. So the 140,000 because of that inflation
Yes.
was only
Yes.
worth 122,000 back
Yeah.
in 2019 when they were earning 130.
Okay.
So it's actually the buying power has gotten less based on inflation
Yes.
and based on interest
rates.
So, and based on lifestyle choices.
Well, and that's the thing that I did get kind of, but
Just
shift your
I love
thinking
you.
on what
Come
a
here,
starter
come here.
home is. Okay,
Yes,
shift your
yes.
thinking, especially in our area, right? You don't need to start at your parents' third home.
Right.
Inside the Beltway, 4-bedroom, 3-bath with the yard, so that you can start having the baby that you know that you're thinking, why would I bring them into this world and they're too expensive for me to sell on vacations? I hear that all the time.
Yep.
And the yard for the dogs. The starter home really needs to be outside of the Beltway.
A townhouse.
A townhouse, maybe a condo if the fees are okay.
Yeah.
Ask us about that. Start at the start.
Yeah.
And you don't need like the super fancy, whatever the super fancy.
Our first townhouse was a 900 square foot townhouse. Our first home was a 900 square foot townhouse.
Yeah.
And that was eating Subway $5 footlongs to be able to afford it.
However, that was in outside of Atlanta. That was
yeah.
in Marietta.
Yeah, so. That's right.
That was a really beautiful place. I like that.
So since we're talking about affordability, it's not me that makes you judge me. Since we're talking about affordability, Trump has introduced, and this is not a political statement, Trump has introduced the 50-year mortgage. So we're going to dive into that on our next video.
Yeah, we all have initial thoughts about that.
Yeah, like is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Who does it work for? Who does it not work for? We're going to dive into it, and we're going to see. It's a non-political discussion. It's an actual, like, let's see if the 50-year mortgage could be beneficial.
Okay, but I don't want you to talk to me about it, because I don't think you and I are going to come to the same conclusion. This is going to be so much fun.
You're wrong. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on next week's Market Report and Real Talk episode. And if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you would like to talk to us more about any of the things we talked about, I know we rambled a lot, but if you have any questions as a buyer or a seller, you can reach out to us at
703-783-2143.
That's right. All right. We'll see you on next week's video.
Bye. Hey, everybody.
Sean and Kelly here, Price and Price Group of Samson Properties. And what are we talking about on this video?
This is our market snapshot.
Yay! What's happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in a little bit over 5 minutes. Here we
Hopefully
go.
Not.
All right. So we are talking about what's happened in the real estate market in the last 7 days, looking at lead measures. If you want to know what that means, watch one of the other videos. I'm not going to go into detail on it right now, but it's something that you can use in real time so that you can go out this weekend and make real-time decisions.
I thought you were about to go into it again. I was totally going to make fun of you.
I had to catch it. Okay.
All right, let's get on to this. So the first graph. All right, let's look at the top graph there. The top black squiggly line, that's the buyer activity. That's how many homes have gone under contract in this area in the last 7 days.
That's right.
The teal line is how many new listings have come on the market. So that's the seller activity.
Yep. So the black line is our demand.
Yes.
The teal line is our supply.
Yes.
Supply versus demand indicates whether activity, who's in charge, first of all, and if prices are going up or going down.
That's right.
All right. So you can see, let's look at inventory first, again, which is our supply. You can see it has been on a steady decline, which is normal for this time of year. You can see this is the exact same week last year. You see that should continue down through into mid-December and then all the way the rest of the way through the end of the year. Inventory this year is at this level. Last year it was here. So there's just a little bit of an increase, a slight increase in inventory over last year. Buyer activity has been trending downwards, but it's staying kind of stable the last 4 weeks. And you can see, and we had a 4-day holiday. And then we had Veterans Day in this whole mix here. So that's buyer activity has been a little bit sketchy.
Well, and also we had the government shutdown. So they've all just now gone back to work and we've gotten that resolved. So
that's exactly right.
Are we thinking it might pick up or they might?
It might pick back up.
Because they were only funded through January though, right?
January 30th. Yeah. So buyer activity might jump again. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Or not. But where is buyer activity versus last year?
Yeah.
Buyer activity is right here. Buyer activity was here last year. So it's just it's pretty much a little bit of an increase.
Yeah.
So, but the important part is with the inventory going down, buyer activity still went up. Did I say
I don't know. I was thinking about what is calling a car a banger derogatory. I'm starting to feel. I'm starting to wonder if I should feel really bad about that.
She's so bored when she watches these. All right. So the gap here has increased versus last week. So you can see that on this bottom one, we have a normal market is right here. Seller's market's up top, buyer's market below. We've increased into a stronger seller's market. So what does that mean for contracts? That's the important thing. What are you going to see if you're a buyer or a seller?
Yes.
Well, we're going to look at the Northern Virginia stats. This is from Cardinal Title, 155 contracts analyzed.
Yeah.
And you can see that 47%, 29 and 18 went above list price, and 53% went below list price.
List price or above.
Or list price or above. So 29% was above list price, and 18%
so just over half are lower than list price.
That's right. That's right. And you can see that that just over half number, the 56%, which pretty close to the 53%, that didn't sell for 22 plus days. So as a buyer, if a property has been on the market for less than 21 days, you're not getting a discount. You still need to come in at least at asking price and possibly above.
Yeah, but once it goes after that, if you need to be more budget minded,
set your search for that.
Let's set a search for you for after the 21 days, and that's where you're going to find.
And there were a lot of options there for
a lot of good ones too.
So for a seller, what you need to hear from that conversation that we just had with our buyers is you have to price it right. You have to prepare it appropriately. I just had a conversation with a seller who was had the property listed for the last 6 months. Did not stage it. They did not price it appropriately. And
I think his agent took cell phone pictures.
Phone pictures. Has expired twice because this is not the market that you can pull those things off. So, okay. So now let's go to what the contracts look like. Finance contingency staying pretty consistent. We have about 3/4 getting the finance contingency, about 3/4 getting the appraisal contingency, and about 3/4 getting the inspection contingency. So it's a good time for buyers because you can have your protections in your contracts. So all in all, it's a very fair market. Sellers can still get top market value as long as they're not being greedy and they present it appropriately. Yeah. And buyers can get into properties without giving up all their protections to make sure that they're buying something they want.
Yeah, and on the sellers not getting greedy, I mean, I don't think it's usually greed. I think it's being in a tough situation.
Sometimes,
is usually what it is.
Or thinking they're still in 2022 because that's what their neighbor's household.
And we're starting to see more and more sellers start to understand where they are. And we've got a couple of listings where it's like they've either gotten called back to the office or other things have gone on, and where they bought only 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago, they're understanding they're taking a little bit of a hit on it.
Yeah. Then not necessarily on the sales price, maybe on the sales price, but certainly on the equity.
On their equity, on their net sheet, right? Yeah. On what they're going to get out of it. So I just want everybody to start realizing, like, if you're in a crunch, then you've got to make some, you got to take some hits.
That's right.
Right. The more desperate you are, the more you.
That's right.
You got to lay it down.
All right. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I think we're good. I think we got close to it. I can't tell what the total number is, but we shall see.
Number.
Oh, yes. If you need us, or you're a buyer or seller and would like to talk about your personal situation, reach out to us at
703-783-2143.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.